name is Marcus, and I'm 22 years old. I'm from Dallas, Texas, and this is my recovery story. I found myself drinking in college to socialize with people. I didn't really blend in with crowds too easily. I was drinking just so I could be comfortable around other people, and that kind of just led to me drinking all the time. I mean, I'm actually diagnosed with depression and severe anxiety, and it played a major role into my addiction. I also smoke weed and drink. Smoke weed and drink alcohol, and I can't go with one or the other. Like I have to have a smoke with my drink, and I have to have a drink with my smoke. So it got pretty bad to the point to where I became suicidal on campus, and I had a suicide attempt on campus. And I stayed in a mental health facility for about 2 weeks, and from there it really just went downhill. Maybe a week after I got out of recovery, I was on my way back to college to get my belongings because I had withdrew because I was going through too much. And I got pulled over with a family member, and there was drugs and a gun in the car, and I was the driver, and they didn't take ownership for it. So I got 3 charges: possession of marijuana over 2 ounces, theft of a firearm, and possession of a stolen firearm. And that hurt a lot. And I feel like the test was to see if I would choose myself first, because I've always chose other people, trying to be a good friend or a good family member. And that really caused a lot of pain and more trauma just to add to it. I actually had planned on, when I got out of the recovery program, I was sober up until this happened, and this was like a trigger for me in my emotions. So I began back drinking and smoking. Actually, that day when I got bonded out of jail, the first thing I did was pour up some Crown and Coke and smoked a fat blunt. That one time of trying to suppress my feelings led to me suppressing feelings constantly, because a lot of the times the reason why I'm drinking and smoking is because my mind moves so fast, 1,000 miles per hour, that I'm trying to get it to slow down and stop thinking so hard about things. And it really just caused me to think more and go deeper into depression. And this time I was isolating myself a lot more. I wouldn't want to have conversations with anybody about things that I didn't want to talk about. If I got upset, I would retreat to the garage and prop up my phone on a stand and watch Netflix, watch anime, or just drink and smoke and isolate myself from the world. And I was drinking so much that I would drink before I would eat breakfast. I would wake up in the morning and I would wait. I remember being excited that they changed the time from on Sundays. It used to be 12 o'clock, you couldn't buy alcohol, but they changed it to 10 o'clock. I just remember I knew I had a problem, but I didn't care. I would go to the hospital. I was diagnosed with pancreatitis of January of 2022. And when they told me I had pancreatitis, I said, well, I'm going to get better. And I got better, and I got out of the hospital, and I went right back to drinking. And I did that maybe 6 to 10 times last year, just going to the hospital, getting out and drinking, going to the hospital, getting out and drinking. What scared me is this last time I was at the hospital, my nurse, she said, Marcus, you are going to die at a young age if you don't change how you are living. And that scared me. It really did. So that was the first time I actually wanted to get help for myself. I just started looking for places, because like I said, I've been in treatment before, but I've had bad experiences, like dealing with racism and just different things. I got here, and I remember opening the door, and everybody's just, hi, what's your name? I'm Marcus. And everybody was just so welcoming and so nice. And instantly I felt like I was in the right place. I knew then that I was going to get the help that I needed. And also I knew because this is what I wanted. Because before I was only going to treatment because my mom wanted me to go, and she kept saying, she's always said, you have to want it for yourself. It's no matter how many times I tell you need help, you have to want it for yourself. And that was right. She was right. And so I thank my mom for that. Thank you, mama. But I thank my mom for that because she was always very honest with me. There were people in my addiction that supported it, like my father, for example. He has an addiction with drinking and smoking. And whenever I told him the first time that I had an addiction, he said that maybe is that because I told him he noticed that I drink a lot of beer, malt beer. He's like, you need to stop getting off that malt beer and just drink liquor. He was like, try to like not even stopping, but redirect my addiction in a different way. But when I think about it, my mom was probably the only one that truly told me what I needed to hear. So I thank her a lot. Honestly, the hardest part of my addiction would have to be knowing that my problems and my addiction was hurting other people and not caring. Like I said, I knew that what I said or what I did, not even just to my mom, to my little brother, she's always been in my corner no matter what. Until I'm breaking down, crying, telling me I need to quit drinking, and I'm literally just like telling her, I don't want to hear it. Where's my beer? I need to go drink. And I would walk away from her and turn my back on her. And I feel bad now because she didn't deserve that. People don't realize that whenever you are in your addiction, you say and do a lot of things that you don't mean. You don't mean it in the moment, because whenever I would get sober, I would think about all those things. I would think about everything I said to my mom, and I didn't know how to say sorry because I've said sorry so many times, and sometimes they get tired of hearing sorry, and she didn't want to hear sorry sometimes. So I just had to basically show her that I was appreciative and that I was really apologetic for my actions. The hardest part of my addiction was turning my back on my family. And because my friends, they are just as much of an addict as I am, because that's who I surrounded myself with, to be comfortable with my addiction. Now that I am getting sober, I'm recovering, I don't think I'll have those same friends anymore. Here I've learned how to set healthy boundaries. They've helped me with even with my family. I have to set some boundaries with my family, because if I go back out into that world and I surround myself, like for instance, with my father, he's an alcoholic and he smokes weed too. We smoked and drank a lot together, and like now I notice that I can't do that with him anymore. So, and I don't know what me and my dad can bond off of now because of we only had that addiction together. So I'm hoping when I get out of here, I influence him to, want to get help and actually do better. Because he's a good man. He's a good father. He's never been a bad father. It's just that he was in his addiction just like I was. And not was, but he's in his addiction like I was. And I've learned so much about setting healthy boundaries with people here, because they make you do like pros and cons lists. And once we got done, we talked about, now, would you do a pro and con list on people who you felt deserve to be in your life? Because I feel like if you got to do a pros and cons list about a friend or somebody that's in your life, then they don't even need to be in your life at all. And when I narrowed down all of those people, I probably only had two. When I started, I had probably like 15 to 20 people that I felt like were in my circle. This place really helps open your eyes to what really matters and what's important to you, because you get down to the root of your problems, like your childhood trauma and the experiences that led to your addiction. I truly feel that I'm not going to be the same person when I leave here. This is my longest I've ever been sober, maybe since I was in high school. I started smoking weed when I was 13, and I started drinking when I was 16. And I always, like when I was younger, I remember we had the Red Ribbon Week at school where you said, say no to drugs, and they show you all the videos of the people stuck to the couch from smoking weed. Like, so, and I was like, I'm never going to be that person, you know? But I found myself in that exact same, because now when I used to be like, whenever I was smoking weed for the first time, I was like, those commercials, that is nothing like how weed is. It wasn't then, but it took getting into depression and becoming comfortable in that depression and anxiety where I found myself stuck to that couch, you know? And I think about that commercial a lot because that is me. Like in that commercial, stuck to that couch, flat as a paper, just stuck there. I was using it to stop my feelings, and for a long time I didn't allow myself to feel anything. Like I'd say all the time, before I came here, I didn't know how to express myself unless I was drunk. It would take it because I wouldn't be able to gather the words, you know, unless I was drinking, and I would let things build up, build up, and then I'll drink, smoke, and then once I feel like I was at a certain level of just complete desperateness, I would spill out all my words, and that's how my mom could tell when I was drunk, because I would be talking more passionately. I thought I would be playing on a good front, but now I look back, I never really knew how to express myself soberly. And I just felt like that alcohol would give me that extra boost of confidence, you know? And it got to a point to where I was, like I said, drinking and drinking to suppress my emotions, but I would drink so much to where everything would just spill out at one time. And once I was sober, it would all come back because I never got a chance to actually talk soberly about my problems. And half the time I wouldn't even remember what I was saying after it just came out of my mouth. And all of this is mostly after COVID. So every therapist was on Zoom and I wasn't getting what I needed, you know. But coming here, we do our groups every morning, and we all get a chance to share how we're feeling for the day. And that has really helped me with expressing myself because I love the fact that when I came in here, it doesn't seem like you're in a house full of addicts and alcoholics, because you're in a house full of people like you. You know what I'm saying? People who also struggle with their emotions and depression, anxiety, and like for instance, I've been told that I used to shake so bad whenever I would have conversations with people, and I don't do that anymore. I thought that I was only shaking because of my withdrawals, and because I still did it for a little while I was here, but once I got more comfortable with expressing myself, those shakes went away. I'm not even shaking now, and I'm on camera doing an interview. So this place has really helped me a lot, especially with my emotions and dealing with them. Actually, yesterday I was nominated to be the peer lead, and I lead the morning therapy sessions now. It's 4 of us, so we take turns doing the therapy sessions. And even now, I don't think even coming into this place, I would even been comfortable doing that, you know? But I love how because I've been here so long that I can see people come in and see them change. And I love that. I love seeing somebody change, or like when somebody comes in and they're in sweatpants and t-shirts, and then the first time that they want to put makeup on or dress themselves up for the first time, maybe in years they've done that, but like they want themselves to look how they feel, you know, because my mom, she always says that your outside portrays your inside. So, and that's true. Like even when it comes to your room and how clean it is, she's always said that. And I love seeing that person come in or come out the doors and like everybody's like, ooh, you look good today, you know, because that person is truly changing from the inside out, and it's starting to show. So I love that part of this place. Get out what you put in. So I put my 100% into this recovery. And I realized a lot of my help has come from journaling. I did not write in my journal at all. I have like 5 journals at home that I would try to write into maybe once every 3 or 4 months. But since I've been here, it's been an everyday thing, sometimes 2 or 3 times a day, just documenting my feelings and what I'm learning, and it's good to go back whenever you're feeling some type of way, because you're going to get discouraged whenever you're in recovery, because not everything's good as gravy. It's okay not to be okay, and especially when you're in recovery, because you're constantly learning how to deal with your emotions and your confidence. Like, I've built up my confidence so much. I would not have, like, I walk around here with a muscle tank on sometimes, and I would not have done that almost a month ago. I would not. I used to wear baggy clothes, and I started working out more. I go to the gym almost every day now, and I don't know if you can tell, I got a little muscle coming in. Look, I got a little muscle coming in. Just people being loving here, and like, this is a good place. Like, it's warm here. You can feel the warmth when you wake up and everybody's saying good morning. People come up to you, give you a hug, and ask you how you're doing today. Sometimes you tell them, I'm not doing too good today, and then they ask you, like, well, what's wrong? And you have a chance to express yourself. And that's what this place is about. Like, because everybody here is going through something, and we're not all going through the same thing, but I feel like we all understand each other. And the therapists, oh my God, they're great. Like, I love Sherman. He's taught me so much spiritually. Like, I didn't really believe in God when I first came in here, and now he's taught me that it's the God of my understanding, because everybody views God in a different way. Whatever your whatever your spirituality is, you can find that for yourself. But it's not going to work just being alone in your own higher power. You have to have your own vision, or your own thought of your higher power, because you have to have something to have faith in. And when you have faith in something, it helps with having faith in yourself. That's just, I can go on all day about this place. I really could, but I just love it here. And I'm almost sad that I have to leave soon, because I'm scared. I'm real. I'm going to be real. I'm scared, because a lot of people are scared when they leave out of here. But that's also why you have to seek out those resources whenever you leave. And I'm finishing my 30 days. I'm going to do the whole 90. I'm going to go to PHP, IOP. I'm going to do it, because 30 days isn't enough days for you to get your recovery. And I really want people to know that you need to do your 90 days. They'll work with you. It's not more so all about the money here. And I love that about this place, because they are truly here to help you. And they only want to help the people that want to help themselves. And that's how it's set up. And that's the way you're going to get the help that you need, because this place here it's not a rehab. It's exactly what it is. It's a retreat. I look at it, because when I came here, and everybody was asking me, where are you going, Marcus? Because I told them I'm leaving for a few months. I said, I'm going on a retreat. I didn't tell people I was going to rehab, because I just I didn't like the sound of it. But I told people I'm going on a retreat. When you get here, it feels exactly like that. It feels like a retreat. You get your kumbaya on. This place is the most beautiful rehab facility I've ever been at. I wouldn't even call it a rehab. Like I said, it's more of a retreat. The people here are amazing. The therapists, they know what they're doing, and it's not. They don't. My therapist Sherman. I can't speak for the other therapists, but I sit in on groups. But not everybody is here just reading stuff out of the book. They actually relate to us, and they try to. Like my therapist, he's a recovering addict, and he relates a lot to us, and that that makes a difference in our lives, because it's one thing when somebody is just, well, this here says that you have a problem with so and so, but somebody that's actually lived through it and can actually give you some solid advice. I love that about this place. Honestly, if you know you have a problem, like, if you can say that you isolate yourself, because there's a difference between separation and isolation, and I just learned that here, because I was isolating myself a lot. If you're isolating yourself and you're partaking in this addiction alone, then it's most likely that you have a problem and you need help with it. Because if you're isolating yourself and you're just drinking, smoking, or doing whatever your drug of choice is, you are One, you're suppressing your identity, and you're allowing other people to choose your identity for you. Because whenever I was isolating myself in that garage every day, I did not care what people thought about me at all. You lose your willpower. I didn't want to go to work. I didn't want to do things I love to do. I used to love to sing. I sang in all different kinds of churches. I sang auditioned for The Voice. My addiction stopped me from actually going any further. And it's just, if you know that your drug of choice or whatever you do is stopping you from living your life how you want it to be lived, then you need to seek some help. Because once you get that addiction out, you have nothing but those things that you want to live for. And for a long time, I was just living for the next drink, for the next smoke. I would literally get my paycheck, and the first thing that I wanted to spend it on was alcohol and weed. Work it because you're worth it. You are worth being clean. You're worth your recovery. And you're absolutely worth being that beautiful person that you think you are. Everybody has that beautiful side to them. And I love seeing that when you come in, because everybody comes in, they're down, they're detoxing, they sleep a lot. But whenever they come out and start going to those groups, they open up, and it's like, I don't know who's the Princess Snow White? Like, if the birds be flying, there's cardinals that fly out. I'm serious. It's a beautiful thing. The cardinals fly out, and it's just like, everything about this place just gives like life. It's just you're breathing a whole new life into yourself and also to other people around you.
Okay, can you give me like a little something?
Okay, many things about tomorrow I don't seem to understand, but I know who holds my hand. And that's God. God holds your hand. He knows about tomorrow. He knows your future. Whenever you're in your addiction, you worry about the future so much. And I've noticed that if you live for today and worry about how you can make today a better day than it was yesterday, that will change your future for the better. So I don't focus on the future anymore, because the future is already written out in God's book. So I focus on right now. And right now I'm in my recovery, and I'm hoping that someday you will be in your recovery as well.